Excellent. Hey, today we're joined by Josh Sabo, a seasoned franchise consultant, founder of the Franchise Guys, and just a good guy. With over 20 years of consulting and leadership experience, he's helped countless people identify and launch their ideal franchise opportunities. He's also built programs to develop young professionals, coached individuals in life and career growth, and invested in businesses himself. He puts his money where his mouth is. What makes Josh unique is that he understands the transition challenge from multiple angles. He's guided clients from corporate careers, family members from the military, and aspiring entrepreneurs from all walks of life. He's here to demystify the world of franchise ownership and explain how his four-step process works and share why franchises can be an excellent fit for vets doing the career change thing. Welcome, sir. Glad to see you again.
Hey, welcome, welcome. I want to start by doing something that a lot of you don't like, but I'm going
Home
to do
run.
it because you need it. Thanks for your service. I'd say it's like a 70-30 split. 70 you don't want to hear it or don't know how to respond. 30 people appreciate it. I'm sure
I
there's
like
a
it
few
when they
people
hand
on.
you a beer or coffee.
Yeah, yeah. Next time I'm in town, Ernie. Um, yeah, absolutely. Here, I'll go ahead and throw my scheduler in here. So I do a free consult. Everything working with me is free for you. But Ernest already did that.
Oh,
So
I got you,
I'm
man.
Josh. Yeah, you got me. I'm partnered with over 700 different franchise brands. From passive options to owner operator options, remote brands, even storefront. Some that are, investments as low as $5,000, especially for you to get in. Franchisors offer massive discounts for franchises to veterans because they know that veterans are some of their top franchisors. They love you guys. They want really two things primarily. They want to know that you can lead a team, which y'all have been doing for years, and they want to know that you can follow systems, which y'all have been doing for years. So I come in here and I want to kind of explain what I do, explain some brands. I've got a slideshow here that I'm going to show you some really funny, well, not, well, some of them are funny. Some cool brands I want to show you just to see what you might be interested in. But at the end, we usually talk through, how you pay for it. There's a few people from Seven Eagle that are going to be closing on their deals in the next 2 months. But yeah, essentially, there's really a franchise for everybody. That's something I like to say. You can always make something happen. It's not just your McDonald's. It's not just your Subways. There are brands that are in home services, health and wellness, pet related, and we'll go through all that. So, um, I've owned lots of businesses in my time. I've flipped real estate. I've had long-term rentals. I've had online businesses with affiliate marketing and drop shipping and ice cream and a sandwich shop. But nothing compares to franchises in my mind. I have made so many mistakes and I've lost so much money in mistakes that I could have just bought two franchises with those mistakes. When you start your own business, there's like a 20-25% chance of success and potential profits within, I think it's like 3 to 6 years, depending on the business. With franchising, the success rate is up to 90%. And that's also why lenders are more free to lend to people that are going into franchising because they know the success rate's so high. The success rate is so high, it's almost more stable than the job market right now. It sounds, but I have clients every day with incredible resumes. But obviously, Seven Eagles is one of the best in the world at putting together your resume for potential jobs. Um, but yeah, so franchises love you guys. They want you to be owning. They want you to be your own boss. They trust you. So I'm going to go ahead and talk through my process a little bit. Um, First of all, we'll hop on a call, right? 20-30 minute call. My goal is to learn about you and learn about your goals, learn about your interests, and then I'll be able to trim down those 700 brands down to four or five that would be a really good fit for you. For instance, if you have a full-time job, there are brands that are very passive, 2 to 5 hours a week. Obviously, there's going to be more at the beginning when you're building the business, 15, 20, sometimes for a few months. But franchise's goal is to get you passive because they want you to be successful. So you buy more territories. The reason their success rate's so high, 90%, up to 90%, is that they can't let you fail. If you fail, it looks bad on them. There's more resales going out there. And so they will hold your hand all the way through. Every process has a system. And so you just
That's right.
follow the system. What's that?
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
say
I
anything.
thought you...
Sorry. No,
Now
I
I'm
was
hearing
just sitting here
things.
like, yeah, I get it. It's in their
Oh,
interest that
man.
you succeed because it's their name on the side of your franchise.
Yep. Some other big powerful things about franchising is the accountability. So I've bought businesses where I thought their P&L or profit loss statements were, I thought people were being honest with me. Small businesses, and then I come into the business and they're lying on their paperwork. Franchises, they can't do that. They've got an enormous amount of accountability. They've got something called the FDD, Franchise Disclosure Document, and it's heavily regulated by the government. So their numbers have to be right and they have to be on, or they could lose their license to sell franchises in the future. So accountability, systems. I mean, if you have a dream, like I had a nonprofit one time. We were about to be international. We were partnering with IBM, and and then COVID happened, right? And so COVID, I lost most of my funding from other people. But if I had a business bringing in $1 million gross sales per year passively, I'd still have my nonprofit. So if you're a person that wants to do something with your passion, I'm always about, hey, find something that's going to make you a bunch of money first, and then nothing's going to touch your passion, right? If you're into, woodworking on the side, and that's something you just want to do for the rest of your life, spend a year, build your franchise business, set it up so it's passive, and then you can go do whatever else you want for the rest of your life. If I had known these options in high school, I would have been retired at 25. You know what I mean? It's just one of those situations. So the process is the link is in the chat. Schedule a call with me. We'll do 20-30 minute call. Again, I'll learn about you. I'll trim them down to 4 or 5. And if I feel like you're on top of things and have time, maybe 6 or 7 brands. But I like to keep it to 4 or 5. So after that, I'll do a territory check of those brands in the area that you want to have your business in. We'll set up another call 2 days after, do a video call, a lot like this. I'll share my screen. We'll go into way more details on each brand so you can learn the lingo. You can learn how much it's going to cost to get in. I'll connect you with my franchise lending partners. I forget who. I think Tyler connected me with VAB, Veterans Alliance Bank. They're doing awesome stuff too. Lots of different options on how to fund these things. But hey, Brent, I only showed Brent 5. Hey, 5 is a lot.
That's a lot of options.
um, but yeah, it's where was I? Yeah, then I'll show you the brands and more details. And usually people pick 2 or 3 to speak with the franchisor, and then I introduce you to them, and then they'll take you through their discovery process, which is just essentially learning things about the brand that I'm not allowed to talk about. I'm not allowed to talk about details of the business, right? Like, what kind of insurance do they use? How do they run this and that? Because things change in business, right? So if I'm speaking out of term, I'd rather not do that. I'm also not really allowed to tell you how much you can make personally, how much you can net. Um, but I can give you an idea. There's a brand that I always there's a brand that's remote that actually a lot of people from Seven Eagle are interested in, but it's a logistics brand, and we'll go over that here in a second. It's all from your computer. You don't have to own anything. You don't have to own trucks or anything like that. But I said, so the first year, if you work hard at it, you can make. Let's just say this is 100,000 and this is 500,000. You can maybe make around in this, or so I'm not allowed to be detailed about it, but I
Get
can
close
talk
to
to
a first down, is what you're saying.
you. Yeah, close to a first down, right in the middle of the goalposts. Um, yeah, so then I'd introduce you to them, but I'm here to be home base for you all the way through your process. Um, Some of the brands, they want to meet with you once a week. They do like leadership and training throughout the week before you purchase. Very, very powerful in the sense that you will know everything you need to know about that brand before you buy. Uh, every time someone buys, I we always come together and say, how positive are you about this choice? They go 90%. So what's that 10%? You go, I'm just nervous. And there's zero reason to be nervous because everything is here. They've got it all planned out. They've got, hey, I'm going to be able to make this amount by this month, and then I'll hire this person, and this it's every little thing is put in place, but there's still that 10%. I don't know, is anybody married in here? Can I get a hands up? I'm not used to talking to myself. But yeah, when you I knew for sure that I was ready to marry my wife. I knew for sure. But when I was up there was like this 10%, like, what am I doing? You know, like what's going on? But I knew it was a perfect match for me.
Well, it's fear of
But
the
it's the same
unknown.
thing, fear of the unknown. But the funny thing is you do know at the end, right? So you even know, but you don't know if if another COVID's going to come through, if another recession's going to come through. So my favorite brands are the ones that are going to be recession resistant or COVID resistant. And those are the ones that I like to at least present to get things going because I was there. COVID killed my nonprofit, right? I was working sales years ago, and the recession killed my sales. So things are always going to happen. But how many COVIDs do you have per year? Oh, just
Way
the one
more.
in a few decades. Okay, right, right. But yeah, there's always going to be things happen, even with a job. I work with a few people at higher ups at like Amazon and Meta, and they'll let me know things that are that are going to happen before they happen. I don't know if you remember Amazon laid off like 30,000 people in one weekend. So the world is not for sure. But to be able to own that is powerful. Being in charge of your future, being in charge of the decisions you make, that's a powerful thing to be able to do. Franchises can do very, very well through COVIDs, through recessions, especially with certain business models. So essentially, this is what we'll talk through. And if you want to schedule a call, go ahead and click that link and schedule a call. I'm going to be pretty booked out the next couple of days. Um, so one of the industries that I like to talk through that people don't think about is senior care. Forbes magazine said investing in senior care right now is like investing in cryptocurrency early, right? We've got the baby boomers, they're getting older. There are not enough people, enough organizations to take care of all the baby boomers coming in. In fact, when I talk to people, I talk to a lot of people in the healthcare realm that are just so sick of work in the hospitals that they'd rather start a franchise or a business that isn't in a hospital because they're just exhausted. But um, the main business model within senior care is in-home, non-medical care. So essentially, you're hiring caretakers to go to elderly people's homes to take care of their non-medical needs, right? So mostly talking with them, playing cards with them, playing, I don't know if anybody in here plays bridge. I'll get one hand up for bridge. I'll wait for one. Okay.
Hit.
And then, right. So you're just hiring people to take care of the business, to take care of the care. Um, each brand can average around $1 million in gross sales per year. Um, within senior care, this is one of my favorites. I like to, if anybody is anybody interested in real estate investing, passive income, um, please raise your hands. I just need a little interaction because I don't know if you've done one of these, but this is so bad feeling like you're talking to yourself. And then Ernie pops in a couple times. You're like, oh, what'd you say, Ernie? There's somebody out there.
I'm here. I'm here,
uh,
brother.
we got a lot of people interested in real estate. So I've had rentals in my time. Holds. I've also done flips. Um, and I was making maybe single family homes, right? I had one that was making around $500 a month net profit, right? You can only put a single family in a single family home. But with the brands in senior care, there's assisted living options, right? So if you buy a house, let's just say you have a 4-bedroom house and you can possibly put 8 elderly people in there. Each elderly person in that house is going to be paying you $6,000 to $15,000 per month to live in your home. And that sounds like a crazy amount. My grandma was paying, I think, 8,000 in Indiana to live in like the hospital unit. You know what I mean? Not the hospital, but like my other grandma calls it the big house, right? People are spending that kind of money. That's just what it is. So let's just pretend those 8 people maxed out 15,000. That's $120,000 per month gross income, right? Your expenses are hiring 2 caretakers, non-medical during the day, and 1 caretaker at night. The big expense is, buying the house, fixing the house up to be elderly safe, elderly friendly. But the amount of money that can be generated passively through that business instead of 500 net profit a month, just to imagine what $120,000 per month, could create in gross sales. P&L statement just came out for a house. I believe it was like 2 or 3 bedrooms a couple months ago. Cleared $350,000 net profit with one house. Super basic. And once the business is up and running, it's very passive. A lot of people will come in and buy one next year. Hey, I got 300,000. Let's go ahead and buy 2 more. And then there's your legacy. You can pass on that money and pass on that business to your grandkids, right? I like to think in
And
terms
then
of
go,
generational.
I was just saying, then
What's
go
that?
stay in your house. And then go stay in your house when you're 80.
Hey,
Yeah,
somebody's
go
got a
and
hot
stay in your
mic.
own house. Go and stay in your own house.
Yeah.
Yep. So um, that would be senior care. If you're into like recruiting, there are some awesome recruiting options for senior care where you're just recruiting caretakers, so you don't have to carry the liability. That can do from $1 million to $2 million per year.
Oh, shit.
So that would be senior care, and that's the average income now. In 5 years, when the boomers are more boomers are going to need help, just imagine where that could be. The next industry is, I can't say one of my favorites, they're all my favorites, but it's the industry that can make you the most money the fastest and be potentially, and again, I want to preface, this is not get rich quick stuff, folks. This is business. I like being upfront. This is not a get rich. I can get really pumped about this and get people in their brains and they start thinking, oh man, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. That's not the case. This is business. So the industry that can make the most money the fastest is going to be your home services. So electrical, plumbing, roofing, but those brands can be complicated. I'm not sure how many licensed electricians there will be for you to hire in the next generations, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I
That's a
like to pick
problem.
the brands that have less skilled labor, stuff that most anybody can do, most anybody. But Brothers That Just Do Gutters is got to be one of my favorites. Essentially, yeah, guess what they do? Brothers That Just Do Gutters. It's everything gutters, right? So they're installing gutters, they're cleaning gutters, which you're supposed to do twice every year. I haven't done mine in a long time. Um, Putting up gutter guard. I mean, it's everything gutters. Their claim to fame is that you can make over $1 million in gross sales your first year. So their franchisees are averaging over $1 million your first year. And this is where I can get a little more detailed. EBITDA or like close to net profit is around 30%. That's a huge number, right? So if you make $1 million, 30%, 300,000 take home.
Wow.
So it's
Just doing
very possible
gutters.
for you. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it's just the stuff that you don't really think about. If you're in Florida, a great option would be something like Screen Mobile. Screen Mobile offers massive discounts to veterans. So 30% off of franchise fees. Um, we call them 2 or 3 packs. So that's buying multiple territories. A territory can be like 150,000 people in a population. You own that, right? Nobody else can encroach on your territory. Screen Mobile can do That's one of those that can be 800 to a million your first year. Could be. I'm not saying you will. I'm not making earnings claims, but the average is up there. If you buy 3 territories, there's a 30% discount for each territory as well, which is wild, and even more money off for women. Excuse me, even more money off. So it's a very powerful brand. So if you live in like the Floridas, the Texas, California, that's an excellent brand for you. So most of these brands are going to help you recruit your employees, and they're going to help train your employees. Very powerful part of this whole process, because everybody's saying there's not going to be enough people out there. I've never heard of one of the brands that I have presented have any issue with employment across America, and Canada. And there's a bunch of stuff globally too. I'm actually working with someone from the UK, another one from Germany in particular. So even if you're out and about, there's options for you. So that would be home services. We'll go through some more brands here in a second. Ernie, I still have. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
How important is the brand itself compared to the work that you put into it? Or is it a combination of things? Obviously, you got to put the work in, but do you find that, sometimes the brand name is going to do a lot more of the work than the person because it's well known or the niche market?
The most important part is the systems. I would spend $100,000 today for a system for any of my old businesses, right? I'd say this, I can't say the second or third, but the brand is less important, like the brand name. If you have a McDonald's, that's a different story, right?
Yeah.
Subway, anything like that. But
you're already doing well.
Yeah. The piece that I spent the most money on, Monique, it's Screen Mobile. The thing that I wasted the most money on in all my businesses was marketing. Trying to find the people that I was targeting, putting together my strategy, and then waiting for Facebook ads and Meta for it to do its job. I'd spend $20,000-$30,000 for that first couple months before AI could start taking over, and marketing in general. Franchises have marketing locked in. They've done this with people hundreds of times. They'll know, hey, in month 3 in this area, you're going to have this amount of money. So we're going to change your ads in this way, right? It's just stable, powerful stuff. But the work that you mentioned, Ernie, no matter what, even if you bought a passive option, so if you came in and said, hey, I want to go the passive model or the semi-passive model, if you chose something like that and you still busted your, am I allowed to swear in this group? No, that's unprofessional. That's unprofessional.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
Go for it. Let's do it.
No, that's unprofessional. I got one thumbs up.
Military. We're all
Brent,
big
thanks for
boys
the.
here.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be professional because this is professional stuff. Another reason working for yourself is so great is you have your own life. You don't have to have a boss telling you when you can go take vacations or, anyways. What was I talking about
Cussing?
Larry.
before
No.
that?
No. You're talking about having your own franchise.
Okay, yeah, owning your own franchise. We were talking about home services. We were talking about, I would spend $100,000 on marketing, but franchises have that all locked down, right? Month 3, you're going to need to hire another tech. This is this, that and that. If you're interested in IT, there's a few brands that are in IT that can average around 2 million, 3 million a year. Most companies are outsourcing that information anyway, or outsourcing that work anyways. So the third business industry is going to be the pet industry. Everybody bought a dog during COVID. Everybody got a little animal during COVID. Pet industry was supposed to boom. I forget what it was. It was supposed to boost 5% or whatever. Now it's like 20%, 30%. And because of things like COVID, people also just learned, hey, I like staying at home. So a brand that I like to at least use as an example would be Zoom and Groomin'. It's a mobile pet grooming company. So essentially, they would do their best to find you the right groomer, train your groomer, and then you send them out in a van to people's homes to groom their pets. And Ernie, I think that LinkedIn is wrong. I changed it to something simpler because I didn't want it to look like I was an idiot.
Okay,
But
I'll unscrew that
that's
for
my
you.
new one. And also, I forgot to thank you for your introduction. I'm
Oh,
always so tickled by the nice things you have to say. So,
it's
Zoom and
easy.
grooming. Each van with Zoom and grooming. Each van, not each territory. Each van for Zoom and grooming can make you up to $300,000 per year in gross sales. That's each van. So let's say you get a territory and you buy your little fleet of three vans. You get, they'll help you get three groomers. What's that? 300 times three, $900,000 gross profit for one territory, right? Um, am I supposed to be reading those, John? Good luck, John, with whatever you're doing. So that would be the pet industry. There's dog training. I've actually had a lot of people that are very interested in the dog training, having locations, but yeah, animals are a big deal. Another industry that is really good is going to be your smoothies. So my friend Kevin owns all the tropical smoothies in the thumb of Michigan. He went through COVID. He didn't just survive, like he survived, but he didn't just like he did all right during COVID. He came in and he bought what was it, like 15 territories, and he's still building them today. He's been in business for 7 years. But the brand that I really like is it's called Pure Green, and I've got a lot of clients interested in Pure Green. They're still youngish. They went viral in like 2021, like during and after COVID, all that went viral. Back then, each store was doing an average of 720,000. Now they're each doing 950,000 average.
What do they
But Pure
do?
Green is essentially, oh, yeah, good question. It's essentially superfood smoothies and acai bowls, which I just learned how to pronounce. I might have just pronounced it wrong again. And cold pressed juices. Super basic, super streamlined. The worst part about owning my ice cream shop was the sandwiches. I added sandwiches, and all of a sudden, we're throwing a bunch of meat away. We had to have a grill, and the grill would break. It was just a mess. It was so much easier just scooping ice cream. But we wanted to keep it open for an extra 2 months. But Pure Green is that way. Tropical smoothie. The frustrations. Every time I go out with Kevin to one of his tropical smoothies, he's bringing in a new grill or a new part for one of the grills that broke down. So when it comes to licensing, it's a lot easier too, but super streamlined. I've seen Pure Green smoothies in shopping plazas with drive-throughs. I mean, they're in any place. You just need 1,000 square feet. You just can't do it at your house as much as a lot of people want. Can I
No,
just
it's
stay
not going to
home and
work.
make smoothies? But yeah, so Pure Green, they just partnered with Disney Plus and Hulu. Originally, I'm a skeptical person. I thought, okay, they're saying they're partner, but they're really just running ads. No, they're legitimately partnered with Disney Plus and Hulu. They're partnered with over 50 sports teams. For instance, I think it would be like this. My buddy Kevin goes to the Lions games for free, meets the team. He has a spot out in Ann Arbor, and so he goes out to the college teams. He says, "I just keep that one in Ann Arbor because I like hanging out with all the athletes. It's fun."
So what
But
does
I
the
think Pure
partnership
Green,
like? What does like the partnership mean, nuts and bolts, to the franchise owners of Pure Green? So, what is the benefit there for them? Just to kind of spell it out.
yeah, I'm sure that marketing's the main one. I think that a partnership also means that they might be able to have Pure Greens, throughout not just Disney Plus, but on locations, Florida, things like that.
Oh, like
Um,
Disney
I don't,
and
I,
yeah,
I haven't read their contract, so I'm not sure what it entails.
yeah. But
But
those are some pretty big names to be attached to for
yes,
visuals.
absolutely. So with something like Pure Green or retail spot, something retail, they'll help you find the right spot. I had a client who had a storefront already, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to use this for Pure Green." he went and talked to him. Again, this comes down to they need you to be successful. And they said, nah, that's not really the best location. Here's the location we want for you that's 3 blocks away. So they need you to be successful, and that's what they want. So the smoothie industry and the QSR, quick service restaurant industry in general, is fun. A lot of like Popeyes, things like that. They want you to have like a year or two experience in the food industry. But the brands that I like to present are not that way. Our ROI on a lot of them too.
Are there
The other
are there
industry. Oh,
any
good.
are there any franchises out there you see like some other guys selling? Not gonna throw you under the bus. Other guys selling where you're like, oh my goodness, stay away. Why do people buy that?
Um,
I don't mean to
I'm
put you
gonna
on the
get
spot. I'm just
I'm
curious.
gonna get myself in some trouble.
All right.
I have an acquaintance that owns a Chick-fil-A.
Mhm.
Don't give me any thumbs downs, please. Um, I'm not a huge fan, unless they've changed things recently. You can only have one store. Thanks, Matthias. Only thumbs down I got. You can only have one store, and they want you to be running it all the time. And unless things have changed, there's no way to really like scale multiple locations. They want you in there all the time, but it's very low cost. And apparently, you don't really own any of it. So that would be what we would call buying a job, which is not a bad idea. If you want to work for yourself, hey, sure, I'll spend whatever it takes for my own job. But
Essentially, you still have a boss breathing over your shoulder, it sounds like.
yeah, there's a lot less freedom. And I think there's a cap on how much you can make throughout the years. I can't,
Ooh.
I don't want to speak to that too much because I'm not a pro at Chick-fil-A, but people in the real
Yeah.
estate realm are just like, I don't know if that's really a franchise. It's,
Yeah, to me, the
but
only thing that was cool about that was like, holy cow, somebody came to my seat, was courteous, and refilled a soda. Where am I?
yeah,
The first time I
yeah,
went in.
Well, they're
right.
goal certified.
They're who certified?
Goal certified, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The program we're rolling through in Seven Eagle. They go through
Oh,
the same
yeah,
training.
Yeah.
maybe.
But again, I'm not saying anything bad. It's just
Yes.
they're great people, but that would be something I want to be able to scale. I want to have a business that goes across the entirety of the coast, right? I want to be able to have the option to have a franchise empire. Nicholas, question.
Yeah, I just keep checking my mic and talking. I'm talking out loud in class. I just had I set up a schedule for us to kind of talk because I don't want to go into like my own questions about me or whatever. But the question is, when would you suggest? And I guess we'll talk, and you probably tell me then. But when would you suggest, like, really? I know it's like basically assets is kind of how I'm looking at buying a franchise. Is kind of like an asset type thing.
Oh yeah,
And I will be coming into money, and I'm going to be getting a better job, and there's retirement and disability and all those things, but that's not happening until like 6 months down the road. So like, would that be the optimal time to set up and really talk to you, or kind of just to get a headway now and then kind of like paint a pathway, if you will? And then
anytime's a good
what's
time.
your
Oh, keep going.
what's your thought on, like, there's all these clampers, basically like people travel around in vehicles and they're trying to find like BLM sites and stuff like that, or like even like small housing area developments in like kind of rural areas, basically like purchasing those plots of land and like housing those types of units on it. Do you guys have any franchises that do stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, even to well, maybe not exactly like that.
You know what I'm
But
saying though?
it's definitely a good business. Actually, when I was coaching people through small businesses, there was a guy who had a really great opportunity to buy a bunch of land, and it was somewhere cold. People do a lot of hunting up there, and trekking, and he didn't have a whole lot of money, but he could afford the spot. Said first, do do old-fashioned camping. And I just say, hey, you have a lot, but I'm not providing water, I'm not providing sewage. And the next year, when you have enough money, go ahead and provide electricity. So there are people that do a lot of that, and you can work your way up to an RV. But even like something like RV storage, land can make you money anywhere, right? Land can make you money. You just have to know what your area needs. Does that answer that?
Yeah, we'll talk. I'll
Okay,
talk to
cool.
you.
And then timing, any time is good. This process can take a year, right? I have clients that call me back a year later. It's like, all right, I'm ready to go. We just had a baby, just moved 3 months later. It doesn't matter. This is I call it shopping, right? If you're in the military and you don't retire for 5 or 6 months, there are semi-passive options and remote options that might be just fine for you. So anytime's fine. I just like talking to people and helping them like start to realize the potential of what's out there. So you're not wasting my time. I'm going to be hiring a few folks here pretty soon here as well. But yeah, anytime's a good time.
Cool. Have you on LinkedIn, and I'll chat with you.
Very cool. Also, the last industry that I like to talk through is health and wellness. If you want something that's less costly, there's a brand called Gym Guys. It's mobile exercise. I mean, they do everything. So essentially, you get your truck and you send out your fitness people to people's homes. They do corporate events. Companies are trying to get their employees to come back to the office to work. And so they're offering, hey, Gym Guys is coming. You can work out here. But that's a cool option. So that would be the fitness realm. Also, like Jet Set Pilates, massive money in Pilates, depending on where you are. But then there's the wellness side, which is a really cool side. Lower cost because you're not going to be buying a bunch of equipment for a gym. Wellness would be, I don't know if anybody's ever gone to an IV drip place. Please raise your hand if you have, because I couldn't do it. I mean, I would if I needed to, but
Is that like a
essentially,
different version of the oxygen bar?
kind of. Some of them actually offer that as well. But like an IV drip, they'll put in an IV and put you up to a vitamin bag. Apparently, it's great for hangovers,
Yes, it
which
is.
is fun. But yeah, Tanya's walking somewhere and wants to ask a question.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't want to ask a question. I was just putting my hand that I've been to one of those drip IV places
Oh,
out in Jacksonville, North Carolina. It's great.
yeah.
Tanya knows how to
Apparently, it makes you
party.
feel really good. And wellness would be like infrared saunas. The plunge house is like a cold plunge place. But I mean, massage. There's just tons of stuff there. So if you're interested in that, and the other industry that is killing it is like the nail and eyelash industry. We'll get into that in a bit. But it's one of those money makers. So so far I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. But before that, does anybody have? I'll take 2 questions. Any questions before I move into talking about certain brands?
No, let's check it out.
Nice. I got 20 minutes. Let's make this count.
Well, about 10. So we got to give them a little bit of a
10
break
minutes.
on the
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
11.
Nobody in here wants a
Nobody.
break. Nobody wants a break here. Can everybody see franchise brands?
Got it.
All right, franchise brands. Let's do it. Boom. I got to click on it, I guess. Here we go. Here's Screen Mobile, repairing window and door screens for homeowners. Guy in a truck, no national competition. When you have a niche like this, it is very powerful because a lot of window places don't want to go to your house just to fix repair a screen. This is why I mentioned Florida being a big one, because everyone who has a pool has a whole screen that they don't want those little lizards coming in. They remember the Franchise 500 Hall of Fame. Most of these brands, they don't need you to have any experience at all. They want you to manage the business and they want you to follow the systems. They want you to hire the people who do the work. They want you working on the business, not in the business. Next, this is one of my faves, End Zone Sports. Youth sports, look at ranked top 500 for what, 6 years in a row. I'm sure they'd have 2025 on there too. One of the lower cost investments for the potential for potentially highest income. Essentially, you would hire a coach. This is one that people do when they have a full-time job all the time. You hire a coach. End Zone Sports will help you get into local schools. Primarily, your local coach will go and teach preschoolers how to play sports. You say, let's do one for football. So parents are paying $50 to $60 a month for your coach to teach their kids how to play football in preschool. Crazy. So now, okay, I've got $1,000 a month. Let's go ahead and add baseball. Let's go ahead and add this. Let's go ahead and add this. And they've got a curriculum for almost every one of their sports. So anybody can, if you know more than a preschooler, you can teach them how to play something, right? So some of the top earners are doing around 850,000, and they're just doing preschool. If you want, you can add the income revenue or revenue stream with, I think it's second to fifth grade, and then you can also add an adult sports league. So yeah, it's super basic. The profit margins can be up to 70%. So let's just say you're doing 500,000, whatever 70% of that is a potential net profit for you, right? So that's End Zone. Love these guys. They're a very, very awesome brand, doing very, very cool things. Hallmark Home Care. This is going to be your senior care recruiting. So because they're your recruiting caretakers, they're not being paid by an agency, so seniors can get their services for less, and caretakers can get paid more. You're eliminating the middleman. $1 million average gross sales. When you have an employee, you can bump that up to around $2 million in gross sales. Housemaster, oldest and largest home inspection companies in America, founded in 1979. It's a Neighborly brand. When you see a brand like this, has anybody seen a Neighborly truck drive by their house? So they're everywhere. A Neighborly brand is like the mothership, right? It's like the big brand. A Neighborly has a ton of different brands underneath it. So when you have a national brand like that, it's very powerful because they've got resources locked down. They have marketing locked down. Very powerful to be a part of a national brand. There's Gym Guys. Here's your Gym Guys trucks and vans. They also do jiu-jitsu and things like that. So massage, stretch. I mean, it's everything. Workouts. But yeah, home offices, parks, and events. It's a Neighborly brand as well. Window Hero. This is an awesome, awesome brand. They're the only brand that I know of at this level that is using drone technology to wash buildings. So instead of your employees spending 2 weeks putting up scaffolding and people hanging off the sides of buildings and walls and all that liability, you can just get your drone up there in an afternoon and do the work. But they do window cleaning, gutter cleaning, power washing, gutter guard. They do inside windows, so it's year-round profitability. You only need 2 employees. You need a tech person and someone that's going to do the sales. So a lot of people will just leave their job, get a loan, live off the loan for a few months until the business picks up, and just work it, right? They'll be the salesperson, they'll be the tech person, and just make the money and replace their job. But yeah, they have passive ownership models. Real quick, passive means like 2 to 5 hours a week. Semi-passive means 10 to 15 hours a week. But super basic, cleaning windows, gutter cleaning. You need a license to do that? I don't think so. For like a licensed electrician. This is Citywide. Citywide is a massive company. We have a lot of cleaning services. Maid services do really, really well. We've got about 6 to 7 brands like that. But Citywide, I wanted to say, if you're more sales and management, if you're more of a salesperson, essentially you are going to just be managing businesses' facilities. So you would bring in a cleaning company and make sure they're under contract. But here it is. $8 million for one location, for one territory. Crazy amount of money. Pure Green, superfood smoothies, acai bowls, cold pressed juices, top emerging brands, blah, blah, blah. Went through that. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that pure? Get it? Pure Green. All right, moving on. Pillar to post home inspectors. I already did a home inspection, but this one can do $1 million in annual gross sales. When I have had people come and do my home inspections, this was years ago, I think it was like $350 for him to come through for an hour. Imagine making $350 an hour. Mold medics, guy in the truck business, mold testing, remediation, air duct cleaning, 1 technician, 1 truck, then scale it. All right, Frenchies, modern nail care. This is the $29 billion industry, nail and waxing industry, manicure, pedicure, and somebody's got to tell me what Gel Shield is on there. I should have, before I made this slide, I'm sure it's, what is it, gel nails? I don't know. Their big focus is clean. Their average unit volume or gross sales is 1.8 million. Here's World Options. It's a shipping and logistics. You can do it all over the world. There's hundreds of franchisees, 100 people just like you doing this all over the world. They've got their software. Essentially, you're able to give them massive discounts. World Options has been around for so long that they have incredible. So I have had a few clients that were like, yeah, I don't know if I want to get into shipping because of tariffs. Where do you think all these companies are going because of the tariffs? They're going to these exclusive discounts and exclusive rates. So essentially, you are going to they're partnered with all the UPSs and all the freight, and you send, you manage their shipping and receiving, small to business or small to medium-sized businesses. Cruise planners. This one's only $5,000 total for people in the military. $5,000 total to get into this business. It's not just cruises. You're planning vacations. It's home-based, obviously low investment, huge returns. I think average, I think it's like 200,000 a year. So this isn't one that can like be your huge, franchise empire kind of brands. But if you want to be a stay-at-home, yeah, this is a job replacer. They'll actually pay, I think it's 2 vacations per year. They'll pay you to go on it so that you can learn about it. But yeah, for you, $5,000 with their veteran discount. This is the Judgment Business Incubator. I love this for people who love justice. Okay, it's 80% of people who win lawsuits aren't paid. Some drunk lady busted out one of the windows on one of my rentals. I had to go to court, and the lawyer was like, she's not going to be able to pay this. And I was just like, well, tell her she needs to, but I'm not expecting it because she needed to learn her lesson. You can't just go bust on someone's window. But there are 80% of people who win lawsuits never get paid. So essentially, with Judgment Business, they'll teach you how to get in there, that you can garnish people's wages. You can get into their cryptocurrency. It is crazy the kind of power some people have. Seems scary and dangerous, but just don't lose a lawsuit. But it's all remote and home-based collection service. Collect money through from debtors. Through all their proven methods, no calls, no letters, no contacts. You're just the bot on the other end that's taking from the rich and giving to the poor. Judgment Business Incubator. It's my buddy Evan. He actually said they worked with the Kardashians on a couple things. Like you never know. You never know who you're going to be working. I didn't ask any questions. He just says, we've worked with professional athletes. We've worked with this. So it's kind of cool. You just never know. Zoom and Grooming. Here's your van. Over 300 vans in operation. I'm pretty sure that's up to 5 now. Not 100%, but simple, basic business. Could do up to $300,000 per van. Smart Market Solutions, vending machines is a lot of people's favorite one because they think it's way passive. It's not as passive as you think. It's a great thing. I don't like lying to people. It's a passive business, but generally it's an hour a week per machine. So, and I think Smart Market has a minimum limit of 10, so 10 hours a week, right? You could hire people to fill them up. But they'll help you get the machines in businesses. So they'll talk to the businesses. I do believe you're going to be paying to have them in the business. So there are costs, but it's whatever. I like the idea. I just I want a teenager to fill them all up for me so that I don't have to touch that stuff. I got other things to do. But AI camera vision, these basically, so if it's in a business, the people in the business that are employees can download an app. And if you open the door, it opens up your app and you pull something out, it puts it into your cart on your app. If you put it back, it takes it out of the cart on your app. And once you close that door, sales complete. But very healthy. It's part of healthy living, healthy you living. I forget. But yeah, if vending machine's not doing as well, They can help you redo it. This is a fun one, just mix it up. 3D scanning booth. Take these to parties. It'll 3D scan you, and then 3D scan people, and then you can send them a little toy of their 3D scan, like of themselves. Kind of cool
Do
stuff.
bobbleheads too?
I don't know. I don't know. The seals is a massive. I'm not allowed to talk about the numbers on this one, but they're massive. Essentially, these seals on refrigerators and things, they need to be replaced. So you'd be working with restaurants, markets, hotels. Super niche. They're very new, but very strong unit economics. Essentially, how much money you can make. Very powerful stuff. Guy in a truck business model, but they don't have any semi-passive options as of yet to start. Kitchen solvers. I just put this up there because there's just a lot of remodeling options. Everyone's remodeling all the time, even during COVID. I think they had the most remodeling done in America ever. And that is everything.
Yeah, the remodeling
And
thing
I-
doesn't surprise me because everybody's at home staring at crap that's been driving them
Yeah.
nuts for years.
Oh, yeah. So, yep, I'm Josh. If you want to go ahead and schedule a time with me, I'd love to talk to you. And I really love being able to support the military. And thank you so much for your service again. I don't care if you don't like to hear it. Thank you for your service.
Awesome. Hey, Josh Sabo, franchise guys, you're the man. I'll send you a quick email and jump back on with you. Hey, thanks for coming out. Everybody, take a break for a few minutes, and we'll see you back here at the top of the hour. The next speaker's got some